Okay, I just got a notification on my phone. Okay, never mind. Not important. So, uh, I probably shouldn't have started this immediately, but I did. Uh, can't take it back now. Fuck it. Um, so I've kind of been doing these weekly update sort of things, but I don't call them weekly updates, but that's basically what they are. I mean, I've been calling that when I don't know what to name it because I just talk about a bunch of random stuff. So, I think I'm gonna do one of those because it do be a Sunday. So, yeah. Um, so, this week, like, there's a part of me that's like, maybe I shouldn't divulge it because it's a lot of, I guess, like, personal stuff. A lot of crazy shit this week. Whew, man, what a week. Uh, so to start off, I made the one last week I talked about. I'm still tired. My arms are still fucked. It's been a week. It's now been 2 weeks. My arms are still fucked. And I did just go to the doctor today, and they basically told me it was an interesting time at the doctor today. I've never been to the doctor like on my own. I mean, I guess technically I went to a therapist on my own, but never like to a doctor on my own. So that was an interesting thing. I did that. Because I don't know. I mean, it's been 2 weeks. My arms still kind of hurt, and to be honest, it was getting like a little bit worse. So I was like, I should probably go see a doctor, and I did, and it was a long time waiting. But like, I understand. Like, I feel like people get so fucking frustrated now with waiting, where they're so fucking angry and like they're annoyed. They're like, oh my god, what's taking them so long? And I think a lot of these people, they don't understand how it is today in like, retail and shit. And there obviously is a line. Like, if somebody is deliberately just trying to push you away or avoid dealing with you, that is like one problem for sure. But my sort of thing is that I really sympathize with people because it's not like they're making you wait because they're like, I don't want to fucking do my job. I mean, there's probably some people that do that, right? But I think a lot of people, it's just places are understaffed, and it's like, what are you gonna do? What do you do? You can't sit there and bitch. They're like, where's the doctor? I didn't talk to the doctor. When the doctor's not fucking there, there is no doctor there. Or there's like one doctor there and they have to deal with all these patients and they're trying their best, but like, yeah. So when she eventually came and she, talked to me, she said, I'm sorry for the wait. And I was like, I understand. I get how it is. I work in a deli myself, and there's a lot of, times where I'm there on my own and there's like 5 customers. And it's like, I'm not deliberately trying to do things as slow as possible to, I'm not trying to deliberately do things as slow as possible so that I can, like, make these people's lives miserable or some shit. It's just like, there is a human element to this. We're not perfect. We can't just instantly do everything. So, that's just how it is. Sometimes you have to fucking wait, and you just have to accept that. And it's crazy, too, because, like, back in the day, you did not really have ways to entertain yourself as much. Like, it would be, like, some fucking shitty little pocket, video game, or, like, maybe you had, like, one of those little, like, chessboards you put on your keys, like a keychain of a chessboard. You could, like, play shitty, tiny chess or something. Or, like, I mean, there was no cell phones back in the day. And now, oh, that's a train. A train. There it goes. But, back in the day, you did not have the amount of, like, distractions and entertainment and stuff in the palm of your hand that we do now. And it feels like people were more accepting back then of dealing with waiting. And now, like waiting is harder when there's nothing to fucking do. And it feels like people are just so much more pissed off. I just hit the phone, I'm sorry. My bad. That's gonna come up in the audio for sure. But like, people are so pissed off now when they have to wait. And it's like, you have a fucking phone. You can sit there and scroll fucking Twitter or Facebook or whatever for fucking 10 minutes. So what the fuck? What, like, people are so mad now about it. I hate it. But I always try to sympathize with, you know, people who work retail or whatever the case, right? And there's a wait. It happens. Like, nowadays, everybody is fucking short-staffed, too. I mean, like, obviously companies are always going to try to do that because it's like, hey, if we can hire less people, we don't have to pay as many people, and so we save money, and then we get more money. And it's like, I get that to an extent. You don't want to hire, like, 300 people and, like, 200 of them are just sitting there doing nothing. But on the other hand, like, it's just, you don't have to hire 300 people, but, you know, if there's like 10 people and they're doing their jobs pretty consistently, and, you know, it's not like they have nothing to do, you should probably hire those 10 people instead of hiring like 4. You know, and I'll touch on this later too, because let's just say last night was a fucking night. Oh my god, dude. This train is loud, by the way. I hope it's not picking up too much in the recording. But I'll talk more about work-related stuff in a little bit, because oh boy, do I have things to say. But so, basically, yeah, it was tough throughout most of this week, but Wild area was pretty nice, and on Sunday we went to the mall. I think, did I mention it? I don't know if I probably mentioned it in one of these, but went to the mall, and you know, we had this big group of kind of our local community. It was really nice. I really enjoyed that. You know, it was like a sense of belonging, you know, it's like I'm part of this group. That sort of thing. So that was cool, but was a little tired afterwards after walking around the mall for like 8 hours, not eating anything. I like devoured 2 fucking granola bars, and then I went home. But yeah, so that was cool, I guess. And then Monday comes around and it's like, well, now I have to go to work. My arms still hurt and I'm tired, but I'll go to work anyway. And I went to work anyway, and this week was pretty brutal. It is the week before Thanksgiving week, so people are starting to get ready for Thanksgiving, and in a supermarket, you know, that means, yeah, you're gonna get a lot of customers. And I feel like this is probably one of the hardest times of the entire year for being a person working in a supermarket, because it's just so many customers, dude. And we have been busy, even at the deli. Like, the deli, you know, it's not like you're getting your fucking Thanksgiving turkey there and your stuffing and whatever. I mean, I guess we have, like, gravy, I think. And I don't even... We had a customer that actually called about that. It just came to my mind. There's a customer that called and was asking about, like, the gravy. Like, do you guys have the gravy? And I was like, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't see it anywhere. I can't find it. I don't know. You know? Like, what the fuck? I don't know. I that stuff, I still don't really know much about that. But so, yeah, especially because like it's seasonal. I have no idea. I've only been working here 3 months. I never worked at Thanksgiving. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what the fuck's going on in that regard. So, um, yeah. So there was that. Monday and Tuesday were definitely pretty brutal, pretty tiring. But I did, I was gonna get my break on Wednesday, and my plan on Wednesday was pretty simple. I was just gonna take it easy. Uh, I watched videos for a little while, just chilling out, watching YouTube videos, and then I was gonna go shower and go to the therapist. And things kind of took a weird turn because while I was in the shower, basically we had one of our dogs, and her eye has been fucked up for a while. Her left eye has been fucked up for a while, and sometimes it would get like red. It was like scary, you know. So we took her to the vet, I think last week, and basically she has glaucoma, which sucks, and it means potentially she might have had to have her eye removed, which is like not great, but okay, I mean, if she has to have it removed, it's not going to make me think less of her. So that was potentially going to happen. And then on that day on Wednesday, I was literally in the shower, just taking a quick shower, and then all of a sudden my mom is telling me like, "Are you almost done? I need to go take a shower because I need to take her to the vet because her eye ruptured." And I was like, "Oh, well, that's great." So that happened. I kept an eye on her, and then my mom ended up just taking her to the vet. And I was like, I've been keeping the therapy stuff secret from my parents, so I didn't explicitly say where I was going, but I was like, I gotta go because I had scheduled an appointment and I wanted to keep that appointment. So, and also, I don't know, to me personally, it just makes me feel so much better. And like, I had been having such a shitty like 2 weeks up and down constantly. Like, I'm fucking losing my mind half the time. So yeah. So I went to the therapist and I told her kind of about a lot of stuff. There also, I forgot, yeah, Monday and Tuesday. There was we'll just say there was an event that happened that I'm not going to talk about because I'm not looking to dox myself. But oh boy, like that just kind of blew my mind. I still kind of can't believe it to an extent. It's fucked up and it's crazy. And yeah, that's really all I'm going to say about it. So that was another thing that happened. That I talk about that on top of everything else at therapy. And then I was like, well, I'll stop at home. I want to go pee, and then I was going to go to the raid hour, which I mentioned in previous videos. Yeah, I mentioned that. I actually recorded those videos on that day. So, yeah. So I get home, and, I had no idea how the vet stuff was going to go. And I get there, and our dog is not home. And I was like, oh, which I thought might happen because she might have to have the eye removed because her eye is like rupturing, like the inside of her eye is coming out. So, I thought, whatever. Basically, kind of not the easiest time getting her into the vet in the first place. And when she got in there, the doctor looked at her and all that, and, he was almost about to send her home with us, because he was like, I know you'll take good care of her. Just, that sort of thing, just kind of telling us, or telling her what to do. And she's about to leave the vet, and then her eye, like, the dog's eye just exploded. Like, exploded. And when I heard about it, like, genuinely kind of made me sick to my stomach. It was bad. And so they had to keep her overnight now because she was not in a good state. Which, I mean, it's crazy because the dog actually didn't really seem to care at all. Like, she barely even fucking noticed that her eye fucking exploded. And she's fucking, like, bleeding and stuff. But, yeah, they had to keep her overnight. And they basically stitched up her eye. So, you know, yeah, no more left eye there. Which is pretty sad, but we're just kind of trying to make sure she's okay and she's not gonna fuck with it. Because, a little bit of a spoiler alert today, she tried to fuck with it. And she started, like, trying to scratch it, and, like, parts of, like, scab and stuff came off. Fortunately, I don't think she removed any stitches. But that was great. I literally just came out of the bathroom, and I looked down, and I just see her just starting to scratch, and I'm like, oh shit, you know? And, like, usually I don't do that. Like, when something happens, my first instinct usually isn't to curse. Like, maybe if it's, like, just myself, like, if I'm, like, home alone or something, I, like, drop something on my foot, I'm like, fuck. You know? Or something like that. But usually, when I see something, I'm not like, oh shit. But that was a moment where I'm like, oh shit. And yeah. that was a moment, for sure. But getting back to all that, so yeah. Wednesday was a bizarre day. But it left me I still got to go to therapy and all that, which is nice, because I feel like it genuinely does just make me feel a lot better to just talk about things, you know? And it's like, I try to talk about stuff with this, but number one, I just don't really have enough time to record these half the time. And two, there's also things I can't divulge because it's like, I'm not trying to dox myself. It's probably not a good idea to reveal a lot of personal things on the internet, so that's why I'm avoiding that. But yeah, so I got to do that, and then also I got to do the raid hours still, and I also went to what is one of my favorite pizza places because it was near where we were doing the raid hour, and I got a chicken parm, and I got 2 slices of Sicilian, and that was great. That was great. I'm not gonna lie, like, their chicken parms, that chicken parm was the first chicken parm I ever had, but I had it with no sauce originally because I was like, I don't know if I'll like it with the sauce, so I'll just try it without sauce. And dude, it was so good. It was so good. And that, like, started my chicken parm kick that's still ongoing really to this day. I love chicken parm sandwiches now. But so I got that, but I'm not gonna lie, the Sicilian at that place, oh my god, dude. I'm kind of loving the Sicilian. Like, it's like this perfect crisp. Because I kind of hate when pizza is, like, super fucking, like, crunchy and crispy. I don't like that. And I also don't like it when it's soft. And I really don't like it when it's soft. When it's, like, you pick it up and the thing just fucking droops down. And then, you know, you're eating it and it's kind of just very, like, soft and, like, messy. I hate that. I love when it's got that perfect crisp to it, where, like, it's not, like, fucking burnt. It's not like you're gonna fucking break your teeth biting into it. But it just is nice. It just tastes like it's, like, the perfect crisp. And that was, like, the perfect crisp. That was... I almost really wanted to... I just saw some people playing Go that I know. And I mentioned this in our video, I think, at some point. Yeah. That's funny. I almost thought they were gonna recognize me. The middle of me talking about fucking pizza. Um, but so yeah, I. Am I recording on this phone? I hope I am. Okay, I am. Thank God. But anyways, so I. Where was I? That just threw me off just seeing them right there. Let's talk about pizza. Yeah, that Sicilian dude is like perfect crisp. I love it. I love it. It's like actually become my goat. I end up actually wanting the Sicilian. I think now more than the chicken parm, even though the chicken parms are so good, but the Sicilian is also so good. It's funny because like it's my favorite pizza like ever, and now it's like I don't even get pizza from there anymore because I was just getting the chicken parms. But now I'm getting the Sicilian pizza, and I like that a shitload. That's fucking awesome. I love the Sicilian. Man, again, there's just people fucking walking on the tracks, bro. What the hell? Why do they do that? I don't understand it. I don't get it. But anyways, though, my point to come back to things is yeah. So I had that pizza. That pizza was fucking awesome. But I knew what was coming up. It's Thursday. So basically, if you don't know why I don't like Thursdays, I can't remember if how much I've talked about it before. And I know there's one video I made where I wanted to talk about giving people the benefit of the doubt and when it really backfired on me. One of those was one of my coworkers who some of my other coworkers kind of said, not great things about him. And I kind of took that and was like, okay, I'll be a little cautious about this guy. I'm not going to necessarily trust him too much. But I learned my fucking lesson. Because holy shit, that one night I had to work. I work with him on Thursdays usually. That one night, oh my God, I was like, I realized that they were fucking right. They were right on the money. Like, this guy, he's not helping very much. And he leaves all the time. And he's not fucking really doing much of his job. He's leaving me to do most of the fucking job. And then he's like yelling at me to like push me to finish the fucking job, which is crazy. And he he is not helping me as much as anybody else, because that's what we're supposed to do. The coworkers are supposed to help each other, and he doesn't, and he leaves. Like, imagine working in a fucking department, right? Like, this is your department, and you just fucking leave all the time for like 20 or 30 minutes. It's not like, oh, he left to go to the bathroom for fucking 5 minutes. I don't care about that. I don't even mind like people go and they fucking talk with somebody for like 10 minutes. I don't care. It's not a huge deal. It's a problem when the guy keeps doing it for 20, 30 minutes at a time constantly. Like, what the fuck? I hate that. And so, Thursday came around this week, and yeah, so I'd do that. But I definitely I'm not happy when I'm working Thursdays, but what I will say is that I work really fucking hard to get that shit closed, and I have just been getting better and better and better with things. So I have been able to continue getting more and more responsibility, which is not great. It's not great that I have to do so much shit, but it's showing that I'm really getting good at the job, which is good, I guess. But it was very tiring. And then came Friday. And Friday sucked, to be honest with you. Friday, I don't know what fucking happened, to be honest with you. Some random high schoolers, I guess. I don't know. This just reminded me. I should lock the car. That's a smart idea. You should lock the car when you're in the car and you're not moving. Anyways, though, as I was saying, so there I am on Friday, and I was going downstairs because our laundry stuff is downstairs, our washer and dryer downstairs, and I literally like bent over like the tiniest bit. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I was, I'm standing like this, and I like bent over like this so that I could like open the door, and my back just, ooh, I could feel that shit, and it sucked. And so I was like, am I even going to be able to go to work today? Because I don't know, my back kind of hurts. Like, my back does not feel good. But I went to work, and I did my whole shift and everything. I managed to make it through even with the shitty back. So that was good. It was tough, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to do it. Like, at like 6 o'clock, I told my coworker, I gotta go piss up your back. Like, I had to go to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom, and I was literally just sitting there, like, with my back against the wall. And I was just like, dude, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fucking do it. Like, my back is kind of killing me right now. But I pulled through. And so, that kind of leads into the rest of that night. So that night, I personally like to stay a little, even after my other coworker, he leaves, he goes upstairs. I like to stay just to do some little finishing touches on the deli, like closing bags and making sure everything is labeled properly and all that. And I only do it when I have extra time, because, as I mentioned with the other coworker, that guy, he doesn't help me, and I tend to be fucking running, like, close to when we need to close. So, yeah. But I was working on closing up the bags and stuff, and I get a text from my manager, and he says, hey, can you work tomorrow 4 to 10? And I kind of didn't know what I wanted to do, because it's like, my arm is fucked. My back is fucked. I can really use a nice 2-day weekend here where I just get to chill out and relax. But I thought about it, and I was like, sure. So I told him, sure, I could do it. And, so yeah, that was going to be the plan. Go to work on Saturday and make some extra money and help out the deli. Which, to be honest, like, it's not good to say this, but it's like, for me, it's not really the money for me working. Like, obviously, I'm not going to do the work for free, but part of the reason why I work as hard as I do is because I want to, I want to fucking do good for the people for the company that took a chance on me, and for the coworkers that I work with, and we have a job to do, and I want to make sure that I contribute fairly, and for the customers that, they're paying for something. I want them to get what they're paying for. And so, when I get asked, hey, can you do this? And I don't really have any obligations, then sure. Like, if I got asked to work on a Wednesday and I had like a therapy appointment, I'd be like, I could do it probably like 5 o'clock maybe, if you want to do that. But other than that, like, I'm occupied until 5 basically. So that sort of thing would have to be what I'd do. But I would still be willing to help, even if it's just for a couple hours. And it's not really about the money to me. It's about It's about, trying to help as best as I can. So, flash forward, um, or go back to Saturday. It's Saturday, and kind of dreading it because you know who I'm working with. It's that one coworker I don't like. I mean, seriously, like, out of everybody in that company, there's really nobody I have a problem with except for that guy. That one guy, he's a little bit of an asshole and doesn't do his share of the work. And he loves to kind of pull stuff. Like, the way I look at it is it almost feels like he's trying to make it some sort of game, where he's trying to fucking get a leg up on you or some shit. There's, like, it always felt like there was some shit that he was pulling every single week. So, like, there was a couple weeks ago where he called out and nobody was able to fill in. So I ended up working with the kitchen guy who, usually he's kind of making stuff in the kitchen. But he does know the deli stuff. But he hadn't worked a night shift in 2 or 3 years. And despite that, I still finished earlier than I do with that other coworker. Even though he leaves at 8:30, by the way. He lives an hour and 30 minutes early. And I still finished earlier than I do with that other asshole coworker. So, what does that say? And so, he did that. The next week, they did a weird thing where they flipped the hours because he would come earlier than me usually, and I would be on a 6-hour shift. But my manager flipped our hours, and that absolutely had to set him off because this guy, he was not happy that he was working the 6-hour shift and I got the 8-hour shift. He was not happy at all. And I could tell this guy, he fucking despises me because I'm there with a smile on my face, helping people, doing fucking a pretty good job, I would say. Look, I'm not perfect. There's still things I've got to learn. But I don't know, this is my first job. I've been here for 3 months. I've never been in a deli before this. I don't know. I think I'm doing an okay job. And when I've talked to every single other coworker other than him, they're like, yeah, you're doing good. You picked it up quick. You are helping us. That's what matters. And you're a good person. So, like, I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job. But I think him seeing that pisses him off a lot. Because, number one, I'm almost kind of a replacement for him in a sense. Because, I mean, he's getting less hours now that I'm there. Because before I was there, he was getting like 6 days a week of work. And now he's getting like 4, sometimes even 3 days a week of work. So, but I get the feeling he's been constantly complaining, and that's why I say this is kind of like a game for him, because I feel like he's constantly trying to get things to go in his favor, and he's trying to make these weird moves and trying to fuck people over as much as he can. He doesn't take it seriously like the rest of us do, because at the end of the day, it's a job. You're supposed to do your job. He doesn't take it seriously. He goofs off. He talks to people forever. He fucking wanders around. And basically my whole point is that this guy's not doing his job. And then it's one thing when you don't do your job. Like, I've been in like group projects in college and shit where people didn't do shit. And I still put their names on it. And they knew that it's like, okay, this guy did the work. I'm just going to shut up and let him do this. And that's that. But the thing is with this guy, he doesn't do that. He can't just be like, okay, you know, whatever. You did most of the work, or you did almost all the work, or whatever. And I will just accept that you did that and not push anything. But this guy pushes things because he fucking, he just wants to, like, act like he did it when I put in most of the work. Like, for example, we have to wrap some of our meats so that they don't get as dry overnight. And we have like a checklist, and we're mandated to do it every night and say who did what. And basically, that task is like 2 parts. So it's like you have to cover, some kind of the prepared food already, which is just literally taking like a piece of paper and just putting it over it. And then wrapping those meats, which wrapping the meats takes like 20, 25, 30 minutes. It's more like 20 minutes, really. But still, that's a lot of time. And, you have to clean the trays and stuff too when you do that. So you have to wrap the meat and then clean the tray that it's on, or clean whatever sort of thing it's on. And then he will like rush over before we're supposed to be covering the ready stuff. And he puts those little, pieces of paper on to like cover it, because he wants to take part of the credit for what I did and make it look like he did more than he did, And that shit pisses me off, because he's trying to avoid looking bad. Because if the guy that's been working there for years is doing worse than the guy that's been working there for 3 months with no other experience working, with no other deli experience, what the fuck does that say about him? So, there's a train that's coming very shortly. Where is it? I think it's coming. Is it coming from over there? Can't tell. It's coming from somewhere. But, yeah. So, that alone already really annoys me. And it just feels like he's constantly trying to play with us. And not in like a way that's like a nice like play, like an actual, a nice sort of way. But in a way like he's trying to gamify this and like fuck people over as hard as he can. And where's the train? Is it coming yet? Where's this train? Oh, there it is. Finally. Just go past so that I can continue talking, please. You're almost there. Don't blow the horn. Okay. Well, there's... Alright. I think now we're good. But so he's been, like, kind of gamifying this stuff. And it is annoying. And I get the feeling he's been trying to pull things behind the scenes, too. He's been complaining. And I mean, I know, a little bit of a spoiler, he's told me that he has been complaining about certain things. And he's trying to get things done his way, because he wants to avoid doing work and wants to avoid being blamed for a lot of things. But so, he has been just... He's been really annoying. And, for example, when there was that day where they swapped our hours, so I had the 8-hour shift and he had the 6-hour shift, and I could tell he was mad. And you know what happened? He called our manager to ask if he could come in early, because he was like, oh, well, I haven't worked a 6-hour shift in a year, and a 6-hour shift, it's kind of a waste of a day. And, the rain, and it's like, dude, the rain, you live closer to this place than I do. Don't even fucking start with that garbage. And it was obvious what he was doing. He was angry that he got 6-hour shift and I got the 8-hour shift. And he had to have complained a lot, because after that, I was back to the 6-hour shift. And I've held my tongue for the most part, other than the one day where he yelled at me, which I wasn't even going to mention anything, but a coworker mentioned it to my manager, and my manager just kind of brought it up. And I even downplayed it. I was like, listen, you know, he yelled at me, and I was just trying to help a customer, and he's yelling at me to work on one of the slicers, and it was like 7:30. And I mentioned, I was like, maybe he's still sick, because he called out the day before. Just keep in mind, when that whole thing happened where he yelled at me and shit, I covered his shift on that Wednesday, the day before. I covered his shift, and on the Saturday before, I stayed like an extra 10 minutes because the other guy was late, and I was like, I don't want to leave you alone in the deli. And that was how he treated me. So I was a little pissed off from that, you know? I feel like a lot of people would be pissed off in that situation, seeing that. After you've been nice to him, and this is how he fucking treats you. He treats you like shit. And so, going back to, I think it was the Thursday from like 2 weeks ago, when they shifted our hours. He pulled that shit and came in early. 2 hours earlier than he's supposed to be, because he was mad. He was mad that I got those hours. And I can tell, ever since I told my manager that he yelled at me, and even though I like downplayed it and shit, I could tell that there was something. It went from he didn't care that much about me, I guess. But it went from kind of like this apathy to like, he does not like me. And I mean, I don't know. I guess on the one hand, it's like, yeah, I did go to the manager and I did say something. But it was like so light. And ever since then, I feel like he's been really trying to gamify shit and trying to put me down. And I've been just holding my tongue and not really saying anything when he's pulling these nights where he calls out, which, let's be honest, he's not fucking sick. He doesn't have some problem he can't come to work. He's calling out because he wanted to try to fuck me over. But it didn't work. That's the funniest part. It didn't work. And then he tried to fuck with me by making sure I wasn't getting that 8-hour shift again. Which, that 8-hour shift is really nice, because on that day I actually finished a tiny bit earlier than usual. And a lot of that was because I had an 8-hour shift, so I got to start doing my cleaning early. And he did not like that. He did not like that. So, and also, by the way, I think I should also mention this too, because I think if I kept getting the 8-hour shift, they would realize who is dragging who down. Because I think he's trying to frame it like I am dragging him down, when he's dragging me down. He's not helping me in the deli, so I'm dealing with at least 95% of the customers. He usually helps with a couple early on, and then he helps with no customers after that, so it's all on me. So there's that. And also, he is leaving all the time. He's not helping me with customers. He's not helping me with a lot of other things. And even when sometimes I do go to him for help, I'm like, hey, I don't know what to do with this thing, or I don't know how to do this. He often is just kind of very angry and aggressive about it. And, I don't like that. So anyways, flash forward to Saturday now. I'll actually talk about the Saturday now. I've been going on this long rant for a while. But Saturday comes. I did get to play some BO6, or not BO6. Still saying BO6. I got to play some BO7 finally. I got to do some Ashes of the Damned stuff. I got to get the Necrofluid Gauntlet. That was awesome. I'm really enjoying it. Even though I haven't gotten to play it much, it's fucking awesome. And the Astra Malorum cutscene came out too this week, and like, dude, that fucking cutscene, I think that genuinely might be my favorite cutscene in all of Call of Duty Zombies. That fucking cutscene goes crazy. It goes crazy. It really just kind of brought me back to like watching some of those BO3 cutscenes for the first time and not having any idea what the fuck is going on, but just being like, this is cool. And it was just so sick to just see the crew, like everybody's just fucking, you know, fighting these Ravagers on fucking space rocks in space with fucking Tessie, and like fucking Richtofon's doing his crazy shit. And, you know, like that was awesome. But anyways, I played some BO7, and then I was like, well, gotta get ready for work. So I get ready for work. I had no idea how it was gonna go because my back is still fucked up. My arm is still fucked up. Who knows how it's gonna go? First hour was fine. Barely any customers. I was able to get my shit done. He, of course, left. He left at like 5 minutes into my shift, and then he didn't come back for like 30 minutes, and then he left again, which is a little more excusable because at least he went to get supplies and stuff. But does it really take him 30 minutes to get supplies? No. Probably took him maybe 10, 15 minutes. So we all know what he was doing. He was just fucking around doing nothing. And so we get to the next hour. And suddenly things start picking up and we have a lot of customers. And he did help me with some customers, to be fair. He did help me with some customers. And then I get to the last customer. And this guy wants 2 sandwiches. And, you know, I mean, whenever you hear that they want sandwiches, it sucks. Because, like, I'm trying to fucking clean. And we've already kind of cleaned up some of the sandwich stuff. And now I have to make sandwiches. And he gives me these rolls, which are, like, kind of hard to see, but they're, like, probably about this big. They're about the size of, like, a hot dog bun, but, like, as a roll. And he gives me these rolls. And I'm like, okay. So I did what I was taught to do when making sandwiches, right? Which is, you get 1/3 of a pound of meat, and you get 1/3 of a pound of the cheese. And then, you know, whatever else they want, lettuce, tomato, mayo, mustard, whatever, right? Onions. And I started making the sandwich. I started making these sandwiches because it's 2 sandwiches. So I cut 2/3 of the meat and the cheese. And I started making the sandwiches. And this guy, he has a little girl. And he puts a little girl on his shoulders. And they're like watching me and like commentating on me as I'm making the fucking sandwiches, which is a little bizarre. Like, let me just give some quick advice here. Do not treat a fucking retail worker like they're a fucking zoo animal. Don't treat them like they're a zoo animal. And you're fucking spectating and be like, oh wow. Oh, he's putting it on the slicer. Oh, he's slicing it. Oh, wow. Don't do that. And just in general, don't fucking sit there and like stare at them constantly. I've said this a bunch of times already in these fucking videos, but it's like, seriously, don't fucking do that to people. Don't do that to fucking retail workers. It's fucking weird. It's just weird, and it makes the fucking retail worker feel uncomfortable. It might make them fuck up their job because now they know they're fucking being watched like a hawk. It fucking sucks. Don't do it. So, anyways, as I was saying, yeah, this guy's doing that. and they're like commentating as I'm fucking making the sandwich. They're like, oh, he's putting the meat on, oh, he's putting the cheese on, you know, and it's like, dude, really? So I'm putting the cheese. I put the cheese on. I put the meat on. Put the cheese on. And then that coworker comes. He comes by, and he goes, "Oh, that's a lot of cheese," in like a very loud voice. And I think he did it partially intentionally because he wanted to get the attention of the customer. Which, by the way, the customer's fucking watching me the whole time. So it's like, if they don't want that cheese, just say something then, I guess. But then they see that and they're like, "Oh yeah, you know, could you take off some of the cheese?" So I'm like, okay, I mean, it's no big deal. I'll take off the cheese. But the thing is, I put mayo on that sandwich because they wanted mayo. So the cheese wasn't good anymore because there's mayo on the cheese now. And so that happens. And I finished the sandwiches and I'm like, whatever, here you go. I kind of felt bad because like I put all that cheese on there because I feel like I'm fucking ripping people off if I'm not putting all that cheese on there. Like, the point of me doing that is that the cheese, you're getting what you pay for, because the sandwiches are kind of expensive. They're kind of expensive when you make like special sandwiches like that. So I'm trying to give people, you know, their fucking money's worth. And it feels wrong to not do that. So, afterwards, my coworker is like talking to me about it, and he at one point looked at the cheese, and I was like in the middle of handing the customers the sandwiches when he was doing this, but he was saying like, "Oh, you know, oh, guess we're gonna have to throw it all out," or something like that. And I didn't really think anything of it at first. And so I finished cleaning off the sandwich table because I had to use the sandwich table and I wanted to clean it. And then he told me, "I'll be right back. I'm going to go to the bathroom." I was like, okay, whatever. So I keep going about my business, keep cleaning. Finally, no customers for a little bit, so I get to clean. And like literally 2 minutes later, which is abnormal as hell for this guy. That is not normal. It's not normal that he fucking leaves for 2 minutes when he says, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the bathroom," or whatever. He leaves for like fucking 10 minutes. So something's weird. And not only that, but the closing manager is with him. And I didn't really think anything of it, because sometimes they just talk. You know, it's no big deal, right? Whatever. Right? Maybe they're just talking and, you know, saying, "Oh, you know, this is how things are going right now." But then they come over to me. And I'm like, I'm kind of like confused. I don't know if maybe they're just going to ask me something. And then I get told that he mentioned what happened with the sandwich thing. What the hell? Oh, I was like, why did I get a notification? But so I find out that my coworker told him about the sandwich thing. And my coworker said, by the way, my coworker says that, "Oh, you know, he just asked me, how's Teddy doing?" And then I told him. Like, there's no way. He 100% like tattled on me for like nothing. It's like, "Oh no, we threw away like a fucking third of mozzarella or something." I wasn't supposed to say mozzarella, but yeah, it was mozzarella cheese. "Oh no, we threw away a third of a pound of cheese. God forbid." Like, the fact that he got the manager like that, that already kind of was like, what the fuck? And then they start talking about how, you know, you've been here 3 months. You should know how to make sandwiches by now. And I was just like, I mean, I guess, like, I feel like I've been doing it fine. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you think I'm not doing it fine, then, you know, I guess I did do it better or whatever. And my coworker started suggesting that I should work some morning shifts. So I could have some training morning shifts that I could learn from the people in the morning because they do more sandwiches. And at first I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess you want to do that, yeah. But it kind of felt like a mind fuck a little bit because it was just, it felt like I was being told you're not doing good enough. And I feel like I've been working pretty well. And I mean, I wasn't making sandwiches for like a month. And then one day I just had to fucking rise the occasion because my other coworker was busy. And this guy's like, I want a sandwich. I was like, all right, I've made a sandwich, but if you want me to, I'll try. And so now I've been making sandwiches. I've made sandwiches here and there. We don't make a ton of them at night, but, you know, I have to make them sometimes. And I feel like I've done a generally pretty decent job. But, now being told that, like, you're not doing good enough. And to be fair, the manager, he told me, that you shouldn't be doing it on a tiny little White Castle roll, which I'll get back to in a little bit. But he told me, you know, tell them these are the rolls we have. These are the types of breads we have. This is what we can do it on. Can't do it on your tiny little roll. Which I now know. I wanted to help the customer. I wanted to do what the customer wanted. But now I know, and I won't make that mistake again. But going back to the White Castle roll thing, he mentioned White Castle rolls a lot, like multiple times. Like, you know, you can't do sandwiches on these tiny little White Castle rolls, which I would agree with, but they weren't White Castle rolls. Like, White Castle, it's tiny little sliders. This is not, it was not a tiny little slider. It was like this, which is like at least double the size of a fucking White Castle roll. And he mentioned White Castle rolls a lot. I think it's because my coworker specifically mentioned White Castle rolls, because I think he wanted to exaggerate it. And I think he exaggerated a lot of that because it made it seem like I was unqualified to make fucking sandwiches in the first place. Which, I mean, I'm not great at making sandwiches. Most of the other people there are better at making sandwiches than I am. But I've been there 3 months and I've never fucking worked in a deli before. I don't know. But point being, that it really mind fucked me because I felt like I had been doing so well, and now I'm being told I'm not doing well enough. And my coworker is talking to me after the fact about all sorts of shit. And one of the things he mentioned is that, like, our assistant manager sometimes kind of like belittles us in a way. Sometimes they leave notes that are like, they kind of feel a little hostile, maybe. But I don't know. For me personally, I don't think that I don't really think they're someone who's like aggressive and not nice. But he kind of was saying that they want to intimidate us. And I kind of felt like that was ironic because I felt like what he did intimidated me. And it like belittled me, and it made me feel like I'm not doing well. And like for like 30 minutes after that, I was just completely mind fucked when there's like customers and shit that are coming and they're like asking for stuff, and I'm like, am I even able to fucking slice correctly? Like, I don't know. All of this is going through my head during all of this. And so I kind of started to realize what was happening. He basically saw an opportunity where admittedly I did mess up. This was not my greatest moment. I mean, I was trying to help a customer at the end of the day. It's not like I fucking pissed in some dude's food. I didn't do that. I tried to do something and I made a mistake by doing it in the first place, I guess. Or by not veering things in a different direction, being like, let's use a different role so that you get your money's worth. But so, yeah. So I started realizing that he took the opportunity, he saw an opportunity, and instantly goes to the manager because he wants to make me look unqualified. If he makes me look unqualified, then maybe they'll be like, oh, you know, you need to go to the day shift so you can learn there. And then, guess what? He's working the night shift. He's going to get more hours. That's what I believe, at least, is the play. He's trying to take my hours and just shove me to day shift at my own expense, which, like, it's not like I'm against day shift necessarily, but it's like I do like working the night shift. And I can tell this guy fucking despises me. And I know that he is pissed about the hours. And so I think this is a fucking plan. Basically, to fuck me over. And try to make me look like I don't know what I'm doing. And I think that's what he's been trying to do a lot too. But in some ways, I think it's backfired on him. And another example of that, because that closing manager, I do like that closing manager. He's a little bit of a hard ass. He's a little bit of a stickler for things, you know? But you can tell he cares a lot about getting things finished and getting things closed and that sort of thing. So I don't particularly hate that. But I did like when that closing manager came back later. Because this one guy from the front end kept coming back. He kept coming and talking to my coworker, like, the whole time. And my coworker's getting, like, nothing done. And they're just sitting there talking for hours. Like, literally hours. It was like 3 hours. That's like half my shift. And like at one point the closing manager comes and, you know, gets them to stop and tells the other guy go back to work. Because what the fuck are you doing? You're just sitting here doing nothing, and this guy's doing nothing in the deli. He's not getting his shit done. You're just fucking talking to him. You know? And then later on he still fucking comes back anyway and keeps talking to him. It was like that the whole fucking night. And meanwhile, I'm fucking here getting heat because I made a fucking sandwich that a customer wanted. God forbid, I used the roll that the customer wanted. And I put too much cheese on it. Oh my god. You know? And fuck, I need my water. My throat's getting dry. Give me a second. Oh yeah, also, how do you like the ShopRite water? ShopRite. It's funny, like, walking in there with ShopRite water, knowing that ShopRite is a competitor. But anyways, as I was saying, yeah, so they were fucking talking for hours. It was ridiculous. And meanwhile, I am getting fucking heat for making that sandwich, and I'm like being fucking belittled, being told that I don't fucking know what I'm doing. And I was working my ass off the whole night because he was not doing anything. And I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do if he hasn't finished his job and I can't do my job because he hasn't done his job? Because he fucking hoards the sink up until he finishes his job. And his job takes him hours because he leaves a bunch of times and goes and talks to people and shit. So I ended up having to bring slicer parts to a different sink. A tiny little sink that couldn't even fit some of the slicer parts, like the big arm. Couldn't even fit in there. And I had to fucking clean it myself. Which is just ridiculous. And it was really fucking frustrating, dude. Because this guy slacks off for hours and hours, barely fucking does anything. And on top of that, he's trying to go for my fucking job now. He's trying to fucking go for my neck at his own gain. He's fucking doing this at my own expense. Which, that really fucking pissed me off. And I've had coworkers that are like, listen, you should go say something. You should go talk to the managers, and you should say something. And I was like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to rock the boat. I'm not a complainer. I'm just not. In fact, oftentimes literally suffer at my own expense because I don't want to be a fucking complainer. I don't want to, I don't want to do that. But last night it fucking changed me, and I was like, dude, I'm fucking saying something. I am gonna fucking talk to the people I trust at this place and figure out what to do, and I'm gonna do it. Because I'm sick and tired of this. Everyone else is too. Everybody has fucking stories like this. And I mean, this like scratches the surface of this guy. Of what this fucking coworker does. It scratches the surface. There's so much of this fucking iceberg of this fucking guy. Between the shit he says to customers, the shit he's done to his coworkers, the shit he's done to the company. There's so much. And he just gets to fucking seemingly do whatever he wants because he just kind of, I guess, abuses the union to fuck over the company and fuck over our managers and shit. And he's even saying stuff like, because right now we have more stuff to do than usual, and he said to that one guy from front end that kept coming over, he said, if they don't stop doing this, I'm just gonna call out. Whatever. And when I heard that too, I was like, so he was calling out intentionally on those Thursdays. Like, I've been thinking for so long, because this has been going on for months, and I've been thinking, like, is this guy really treating this all like a game, or am I just fucking losing my mind? Is he trying to fucking constantly look for ways to fuck people over? Or am I just going crazy? But now I'm hearing it from the horse's mouth. He is. He's trying to pull strings behind the scenes. He's trying to fucking complain as much as he can. He's trying to fucking get things his way so that he doesn't have to fucking work. And, like, I'm just pissed. I'm tired. This guy has been an absolute pain in my ass for so long. He's been a pain in everybody else's ass. Nobody in our department likes him. Nobody. And it's easy to see why. He has friends in other parts of the store, but that's because he goes and fucking talks to them when he's supposed to be in the fucking deli. So, part of me wants to not do this. Part of me wants to not start shit, because I don't want to rock the boat. I'm someone who literally will suffer in silence if I have to. And I'm just fucking tired of it. It's also not just for me, but it's also for my coworkers, because then my one coworker that I really like, he's going to have to work with him more. It's already a pain in the ass enough to work with him as much as it is, but if he's got to work with him like 4 or 5 or 6 days, that's fucked. I don't want to do that. I don't want to leave him to that. So, I could just be like, oh, yeah, I'll just start doing the day shift or whatever. But I don't want that. I don't want that. I want to help my other coworkers, and I don't want to be fucking pushed out of this job or be pushed out of the time slot for his own gain. I don't want him to win. That's basically what it comes down to. I'm sick of this fucking dude pushing everybody's buttons, trying to pull strings behind the scenes. I don't fucking like it. And I'm not gonna fucking take it anymore, basically. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm not taking this shit anymore. I am going to make sure that I'm not treated like shit like I have been for so long. And it's not the company is treating me like shit. It's not there's been some customers that have treated me like shit. But it's not most of them. And it's not my coworkers either. It's this one fucking coworker. This single coworker that has made this job so much more fucking frustrating and difficult than it has to be. So, yeah. It's not like I'm trying to get him fired or some shit. That's not the point of it. But I want them to light a fire under his ass or something. I want them to be like, listen, dude, you're not fucking doing your job. And you're complaining about everybody else. You need to fucking get your act together or you're fucking out of here. I want them to light a fire under his ass and make him do the fucking work that he's supposed to be doing, that he is paid to fucking do. That's what it comes down to. God. But yeah. That's how my week went pretty much, other than today. Today I went to the store, not working. I bought a bunch of stuff because I wanted to use some of my coupons. Fuck. And I wanted to talk to some of my coworkers to start figuring out what the hell I'm gonna do about this guy. And I didn't really get to talk with them that much because they were kind of busy, but I got to talk to one of them because he was there earlier than I expected. I didn't realize he was going to be there, and he just kind of happened to find me and say hi. And so I talked to him, and we're going to talk tomorrow about things because, yeah, like I'm not happy with the situation that this fucking one coworker is trying to push on me and all of us. I'm so tired of it. And I'm not gonna fucking keep taking this shit. I'm done. I have been nice. I mean, even yesterday before I left, I said, hey dude, listen, I'm probably not gonna see you next week. I don't think we're really scheduled to work together next week. So, I just want to say happy Thanksgiving. And his response is basically, yeah, dude, yeah. Like, he didn't really say shit. He didn't say shit to me. He wasn't like, yeah, happy Thanksgiving, man. See you then. Good job tonight. I mean, I think he did say good job or whatever once or twice. Something like that. But he better fucking say good job. You know how much shit I did? And I've been starting to document some of it, which I need to really start documenting fucking everything from now on, because I need to make sure that when I tell people I have, like, evidence and that, I have witnesses to some of this shit, I need to make sure that I have that stuff. So I've been, like, when we do that checklist every night, or when I do that checklist with him, I've been taking pictures of it. I've been snapping pictures of it when nobody's around, because I want to make sure that number one, I want to make sure he doesn't fuck with that list, because I feel like he probably would sometimes. And two, I want that evidence to be like, listen, this is all the shit I did that night. And this is what he did. And just show the contrast. And show that I'm fucking doing the work here. It's not him. It's me. So. Oh, God, dude. And, you know, I almost forgot to mention it. But he kind of mentioned at one point, he was like, you know, I was a lot like you when I started. Because you're very particular about things. Which I've talked about before in videos. I've talked about it. Sometimes I'm a perfectionist. And I've been trying to break that habit. And I kind of have. To an extent with a lot of these videos. These videos are pretty imperfect and pretty shit. But sometimes I can still be a little bit of a perfectionist at work. Some people, you know, they're not going to go out of their way to get every single fucking crumb and whatever. But I do, because I want it to be perfect, or as good as I can make it. I want the deli to fucking sparkle, you know? But he mentioned at one point, kind of like offhandedly, that I was particular and that kind of made me slow. And when I heard that, I was like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like, really? Because it's like, yes, I am slower than other people in that deli for sure. Because they are much less particular. They don't care so much about getting every single little crumb or making sure something's spotless. They just do it quick and that's it. And I maybe not take my time with it so much, but I do really make sure that I make sure that I am doing a good job. And when he said that, when he was like kind of implying that I'm a little slow, that shit really pissed me off. Because it's like, dude, I'm faster than you. I'm faster than you. I finish my whole shit in the department faster than you do, and I have to do way more shit. Like, it pisses me off so much, dude. I really just feel like a lot of the stuff that he says is like projection, you know? He talks about how, oh, you know, you're slow, whatever, or it implies it. And he's the fucking slow one. If he had to make those sandwiches, bro, I fucking guarantee you he would have taken longer than me despite slicing less shit for it, you know? And then, on top of that, what was I gonna say? I mean, the whole intimidation thing, saying that our assistant manager is intimidating us or belittling us, when to be honest with you, sometimes I can get that vibe a little bit. Like, it doesn't feel great. But I can at least kind of understand where it's coming from. And the fact that he's saying that shit, and meanwhile he is like literally trying to intimidate me. He's like bringing the fucking manager over to me to fucking talk to me about how I fucked up making sandwiches. And I'm pretty sure he deliberately exaggerated to that manager about how the sandwiches were. Like, I don't think they were fucking horrible sandwiches or anything. But yeah. This really just became a whole rant about that fucking coworker, which I've definitely like talked about it before, but not to this extent, because dude, I can talk about this shit for hours. Just how fucking insane a lot of this stuff is. It's just crazy. Because aside from this guy, it's like, I mean, I could say like, yeah, the company's cheap. They don't fix stuff a lot of the time. And we kind of have to just do fucking Band-Aid solutions on shit. But this guy is like the one serious issue I have at work. And I'm fucking sick and tired of not just letting it exist. I'm fucking tired of it. So, yeah. I think that's pretty much most of what I have to say for this week. It has been a wild week, and last night was really just something fucking insane. But I persevered. I got my day off. And I spent most of my day off going to work, not to work, but to shop, and going to the doctor. That was how I spent my day off. Whatever. You know what? I got videos to make. I got things to do. So I'm going to end this here. And I'm going to go try to make one more thing, because this week is going to be interesting with Thanksgiving. And also, I totally forgot to mention this, because Friday, yeah. On Friday, too, we got our schedule. And I'm working Wednesday, which I guess is kind of good because I'm off Thanksgiving. But also, I'm not really celebrating Thanksgiving with my extended family, sadly. So it's basically just going to be me and my parents and the dogs. And yeah. But it also means that it kind of conflicts with my therapy appointment. That makes me sad, because I like it. It makes me feel better. At least I feel that way. I feel like it kind of has been helpful to me in a lot of ways. And the fact that I'm not gonna be probably getting to do that kind of sucks. But yeah, I mean, at least I guess I got Thursday off. I talked to my manager today too, and he told me, other people were willing to work Thanksgiving, so I figured I'd give it off to you, or I give it to you, and you could spend it with your family, because, someday you're not gonna have a family to spend it with. That was what he said. And it's like, I guess in a way it's kind of blunt maybe a little bit, but I do understand, and like, I definitely am respectful of it, I definitely am. I'm thankful for my manager too. I'm thankful for him. I'm thankful for basically everybody at that store, except for that one motherfucker. But I'm not gonna let him win. I'm not gonna let him fucking destroy me. I'm not gonna let him destroy this fucking job for me, because I like the job. Fuck. My voice is giving out. I like the job. I don't want to leave the job. I almost don't even want to leave the job to go back to college. I'm thinking even when I go to college, I might still try to be like, hey, could I work like 2 days a week? Something. Just so that I can, still make some money and still work in a place I like working. But yeah, that I still don't know what I'm going to do about the whole situation, but like, I don't want to leave necessarily. And I don't want this guy to fucking ruin the job either. So, I mean, I'm just going to say fuck him. And I'm just going to not hold back anymore, because I've been just slowly suffering in silence. And maybe talking to some coworkers here and there, but not really taking action. And now, I'm going to start working to take action. Because if this guy's going to fucking complain about me, if this guy's going to complain about me to managers, I'm going to complain about him to managers. And we're going to see who fucking comes out on top. How about that? Yeah. So anyways, I'm done. Yeah. We'll see how this week goes. Should be an interesting week. There's going to be a little Deli Civil War going on. But, yeah. I guess that's it.